everybody? It's Phelan here again, and welcome back to the page. And as you can see, new bodies, new faces, new show. So we decided to go with this show called The Panel, as you guys have seen, because I know a lot of you guys wonder, like, what do black men talk about when they get together? Women, I know y'all think when we get together, you be like, oh my God, he ain't doing nothing but talking about inches, or oh my God, girl, he over here going out to the club, like a whole lot, right?
I don't even like the club.
Same. I'm too open to the club, apparently, but that's neither here nor there.
I miss the club.
Shut up. I miss the club. But we're here today to talk to you guys. You're basically going to be a fly on the wall to some of our regular conversations, and we figured that you could either benefit from them, learn from them, do something with them. Something gonna happen with them. So I'm gonna let my friends introduce themselves, and then we're gonna talk to y'all a little bit for today. So we gonna start with the smallest couch, and then go to the biggest couch.
I thought we was gonna start about with the oldest.
Oldest in the room. I mean, it works either way. Who you really think of? Seniority first.
Seniority. I'm seasoned, so whatever.
That's one way of saying it.
What's up, y'all? My name is Donald D. Gilliam. I'm originally from the south side of Chicago. Chi-Town, what's up? And I am currently here in Columbia with these wonderful friends of mine.
Cool. My name is Stephen Qualls II. I'm originally from Milwaukee, Wisconsin. I know y'all probably don't know many people from there. That's cool. Hope I'm a great representation. I'm also a grad student here in Columbia with all these great gentlemen here. And yeah.
And my name is Nosai Eke. I am from the beautiful city of Fountains, the heart of America, Kansas City, Missouri.
Who has ever described Kansas City in this matter?
We all went through our cities. We all did the normal introduction, and you just had to force it.
You know, I got to put KC on the map. You know how Chance rep in Chicago. I got to rep Chicago. I mean, KC the same way how Drake do Toronto too. So, but
It's not working.
we'll get there. We'll get there.
They don't
It's
mean
okay. I'm gonna show that
It's gonna be
pride.
a no for me.
It's same.
It's a no for me, dog.
It's a no for me.
It's okay. Don't worry. We'll get there one day.
You got anything else to add outside of the elaborateness of Kansas City?
Of course. Yeah, so I'm currently a grad student as well, soon to be professional engineer, and
Amen.
part-time CEO
Skrilla.
and founder of Sounds by Sa Incorporated. So check us out.
He said part-time CEO and founder.
Yeah, man. I had to delegate some responsibilities to them.
He said, just in case you had questions.
If that's the case, Steve, you technically missed something in your
He
introduction
did.
too, so
He
we
did.
might as well just throw it back.
Hey, I am also the CEO and founder of Qualified LLC, since we shouting out businesses and whatnot. But
LLC.
Support black businesses.
Please, yeah, basically, truly.
And what's up, everybody? If you already don't know, my name is Phelan Simpkins. I am finishing my last year of law school here, and we figured this series would be beneficial to you all. And you know what? Without further ado, we're going to get to it. So before we started today, we were trying to figure out what the hell we were going to talk to y'all about.
Could you try again?
No, I will not.
Why not think that was no sock? I was about to be like, no sock. Every
I
time.
said it on DNA.
Every time.
I was about to come for you.
See, Siri, we playing. But we're going to talk to you a little bit today about identity and what it's like to be a black man, and like how has your identity been shaped. So I'm going to just throw the first question out there. What do you all feel? What does it mean to be a black man, especially in 2020? Because I mean, let's be honest, this shit is wild. Streets are wild.
I think that for me, it's kind of weird. I was talking about this today with somebody too. Like when I say my daily affirmations every morning, the first thing I say is like, I'm strong, I'm powerful. And then I was telling somebody, my friend, that like, is that kind of problematic? Because that's the first thing people think of a black man is like,
Sure.
and I wasn't even thinking of like strength or power in terms of like mentally or like,
the strength of the Black Panther.
Yeah, no. I was thinking more like, like strong, like physically strong. And, but yeah.
Rest in peace, Chadwick.
R.I.P. and Chadwick for sure. But yeah, that's like the first thing that comes to my mind when I think of a black man for sure. That's what me, at least what I had in my household, that was my representation of a black man when I grew up all the time. And that's at least what I aspired to be as well. So,
ooh, you brought up something really interesting.
Do you want to go there first?
I really do. I'm gonna dive into it. I like to rip the Band-Aid off.
Just go right into
You talked about household dynamics and what you saw, and I know everyone sitting here did not have the same household dynamic.
Yeah.
So based off what Nosa just said, how do you all feel and describe your blackness as a black man? Like, how did that shape for you?
I know for me, my dad wasn't in the household early, so having like being raised by women essentially, they don't. It's not that they put a pressure on you, but they challenge you very very early on. At least that's what my situation was. They challenged me very early on to understand everything that it meant to be a man, and that had nothing to do with the stereotype, especially as a black man, the stereotype of what that meant. It just meant like providing, being able to mentally, as well as like financial, like that's gonna come. But mentally and emotionally being prepared to manage a family, manage different people, and be able to provide not just financial, like I said, but you have as a man, like there's a certain emotional support you should be able to provide that you shouldn't be scared of. And so that's something that I learned without a man present consistently. I'll say that like my mom eventually remarried and I had other, men that were around. But also at the same time, that's a struggle because as black men, a lot of times if it's not your dad or a family member, you don't really want them having that kind of impact on you because we're taught to be guarded. So I think identity comes from what you're allowed to see and then also what you're kind of exposed to. And sometimes that's in the house and sometimes it's not. But that's kind of what my personal family situation was.
I think in terms of like family situation, I mean, y'all know I always talk about my daddy and it's like, whatever. But I can't completely discredit him in this situation. Like I definitely learned how to be a man from him, but not to like harp on the deficit perspective, but like I learned what not to
or
do.
what you didn't want to do at least.
Or what I didn't want to do and pass on. And I started seeing it at like a very young age.
Mm-hmm.
So I did get like a lot of love and support from him, what I thought, then as a kid, like kid. But then I started to like see the world and like try to understand things as curious, like 10-year-olds, And I was like, no, I don't want to see that. But I don't think I learned how to be a man from a man. I don't necessarily think I learned it from my mama being a woman. I think I learned how to be a man from love, though. Like, I have really good views and relationships and like perspectives of what love was from different people and family, of course. But like, I don't think it came from one person because you always hear like, well, I'm a woman, I can't raise no man, blah, blah, blah. And,
yes, you can.
The story of the single black mother, but like, you can. And like, I feel like my mama did, but through like examples. So like, I feel like I saw the world a little differently coming up as it shaped me to be a black man.
I wish somebody would tell K. Michelle that. Don't you got a song called Can't Raise a Man?
Oh,
I'm just right. Can't raise a man. Like, girl, okay, I mean, clearly, whatever.
Somebody.
That's a completely different conversation.
And we were talking about from the bottom to the top, so I mean, I'm just throwing it out there, right?
Her and her BET cousin, Keisha Cole.
Oh my gosh, you did not just... Don't Keisha Cole first of all.
Why are you playing? Keisha probably in your parking lot right now. So I'm about to go get me one.
I can't say that.
No, but I mean that's a really good point because when you think about it, a lot of what you hear in society is like, oh well, and this is being very stereotypical. Is like, okay, the first question you mean like a lot of people who don't look like you is, oh, is your father at home, or like, what does your household dynamic look like? Like, you get those questions and then they're very intrusive, but that's how society views like the black household. Mm-hmm. It's either one parent, which is typically the mother, or you have two parents and you're a middle class. It's like
which is wild. Which is wild because there are so many different ways that can look.
Yeah,
so many different ways.
Like, those are two completely different ends of the spectrum with so many things in between.
And I've seen a lot of people that are well off and very privileged and upper class, and they might not have a stable
that's true.
Figure in the
their parents go on every week. You feel me?
And they be like, you want to call for some weed and drink?
Yeah. Their father might financially provide for them, but he wasn't there for them in other capacities. So it's like it's definitely a balance of like. It's so many different things that play into like identities, and so it's just hard to say like one thing for sure. But for me, that's what came to my mind first. Like my dad is the first person I always looked to, and I always aspired to be like just little things stuff that he would do like as a provider. I always aspired to be that. So
And I've always wanted that, like, because I did till I was 7, and I was like, nope.
It's a no for me.
I was like, I need to look for somebody else.
No, but so
Oh my god. We should have laughing, but we are. Like it's not funny, but I actually understand.
it's real.
I get it.
You get to a point where you're like, okay, so this is not it.
This is the work.
No, but so how much? So something I learned. How much of it do y'all think is generational? Because I would say we're all in the same generation. I would give that. All born in the 90s. All
Barely.
Barely.
I barely made the cut.
Barely made the cut. But like
1 year old.
we all are a completely different generation from our parents. And so I think, especially the way the world was viewed back then, the expectations of the world back then were completely different than now. And I think we've all understood that it's very difficult for a lot of the older generations to not only accept, but to really truly understand how different the world is now and how different men, especially black men especially, can operate. So how much of it is generational, and is there any way that gap can be bridged?
Ooh.
It's a tough one for sure.
I mean, I do think a lot of it is generational, right? Because like you look or you listen and you hear like, oh, well, I want you to be better than me, or this is what happened. It is the black household staple,
which I love.
Oh, I want you to be more.
Which I like. I appreciate that, because you should want the future generation to be better. But it needs to be rooted. It needs to be rooted in something better than what it is in a lot of households.
Exactly, and to see like that as like the staple, and then you hear you hear it, then you see it, and like then your parents or whoever is raising you, your guardian, I should say, is like harping on you because of that. Like they want to make sure that you're not doing that. Where it's life, like I have to make the mistakes that I have to make in order to become the person that I need to be at the end of the day. And this is something I was listening to on another podcast. Parents have a way of projecting who they want their kids to be or who they hope their kids to be. And when you're the child, some kids are very tied to that. And so they want to make sure that they're pleasing their parent. They want to make sure that they're living up to those expectations, and they're missing out on things. They're missing out on who they could be, or like what they like they're missing out on this whole other side. And I've always found that interesting because, like, let's be honest, if I followed what my parents wanted me to do, I'd be in med school instead of law school. But it wasn't for me at the end of the day.
I'd be in med school.
That's a whole other family dynamic. We're not gonna talk about it. But like, it's just interesting how like that need to please plays a role too in a lot of families, because like, okay, your parents or your guardian sacrificed this much for you. I want to be able to help you give back to you. But is it's supposed to be to a detriment to you? What's the balance? How do you help give back and please in a sense without losing who you really are?
I think it's definitely generational, and especially coming from a black perspective of us not like my parents were born in the 50s and 60s, so you think about that, they grew up in a time and then like immigrated here in a time that was still like a lot of we still go through social unrest right here as far as things go, but a time back then that was different, And so they want a better lifestyle for us a lot of times, and that's from relationship status, career-wise, we said career-wise, all those things that they didn't get the opportunity to have per se. So they like portray or they just put their own like dreams on you sometimes, and it kind of sucks because a lot of people don't get their identity until college. Maybe not even through college. What if you don't go to college?
Man,
maybe later.
Look, it depends, bro. It could be anywhere from college. It could be, bro. Some people don't really get that till 30. Be honest.
Yeah, really. I know a lot.
It legitimately depends,
which is fine
because it's ever changing.
Well,
it is.
Well, it's not ever changing, but always evolving.
Yeah,
like because identity isn't stagnant.
It's always. I knew that, but like that. Random off topic. I didn't know that your love languages also changed as well throughout, like as you.
That's real.
Well, I mean, when you evolve as a person, I would imagine that your love languages do. So that it makes sense, but also I don't think that's something that people would understand from jump. Just mainly because I think a lot of people, especially us men, I think there's a lot of men I don't think that fully understand love until it's far. I won't say it's too late, but very, very, very far behind when they really should. But that's essentially what this conversation is. And I mean, kind of back to the generational thing and back to pleasing. like me growing up like with my mom, like, and I'm firstborn, so we're already extremely close. But something that I learned and she had to break me from. Black men already have this, I won't call it a preconceived notion, but they have this feeling and almost this obligation that they have to provide for their mother, which is not wrong, but it can be to a detriment. And I remember there's a lot of times I would tell her, like, there would be things I wouldn't tell her or things I would or wouldn't do solely because I wanted to please her. And she had to tell me, she was like, you don't do it for me. She's like, she's like, I get it, but don't make decisions for me or don't do something because it's what you think I want. Do it for you. I'm gonna be there regardless. If you make a mistake, it's a mistake. That's gonna happen. But don't do something for me because then, like, if it's a mistake or if it goes bad, then you're gonna start to feel a way about me because you were doing it for me. And one, it's not fair, but two, you shouldn't even be putting yourself through that.
And that's how a lot of black men. Let me not project to make this general statement, but I know people that I grew up around start resenting their mothers, or resenting black women in general.
Yeah.
Because of that reason specifically, because they're like, oh, I did X, Y, and Z for you, or you know, and it didn't work out, you know, in whatever way. So, that's a lot of things that I've seen as well going on, which is crazy.
No, Sai, it's funny you say that.
What?
Because, you know, Sai wanted to avoid this topic. But he mentioned it, and I feel like it's a great segue.
Spice it up, Steve.
And I don't think it has to have a negative connotation. And I know we understand that, but I don't think the viewers have to see it as that. And I think we can communicate it in a way that it won't be seen as that. But Sai mentioned how as black men, obviously we are seen or considered to be the weakest link in regard to
so many
society in general, really, but in so many other specific stances. And then also, clearly within the last year with a lot of things that have happened, we've been seen as not wanting to be protectors of black women. And I think that while there are many, many instances where nobody can negate that, like I'm not sitting up here ever saying that all black men in the world protect black women, because they don't. We all know they don't. But I think to generalize it and to not be open to having conversations to attach those things to a specific person that you're speaking to or speaking about, I believe is unfair. Because what somebody else did shouldn't be the basis of how you see me or what you expect me to do. And if you're not going to have a conversation with me about it, or if anything, the common decency of giving me a fair chance to show you myself and not just go based off of another black man that I don't know, that I'm not associated with, then for me it's just like and it's not to knock a feeling, it's not to knock an emotion at all, but I'ma still protect myself. Like, I didn't do that. I'm not a representative of all black men. Right. As messed up as that may sound, and as unfortunate as it is, I can't represent everybody because I wasn't brought up the same as everybody. I wasn't taught, like, everybody wasn't taught the same thing. So I think it's just unfair to put all black men in that category. And if you want to have a conversation with somebody, then be open to doing that. Don't just assume.
Yeah, and well, let me start off by saying a lot of black men are very disappointing. Yes.
Yeah.
Very disappointing.
Start there.
We gotta call each other out.
Yeah, they really are. And I see some things on.
We dropped the ball.
A lot.
Yeah, that's real. That's
for sure. It's very a lot of points that black women bring up are is facts, and you know they are usually a lot of the time they just carry a lot on themselves, which is where the strong black woman connotation comes from. And so you even see it like in media nowadays with like Jordan Peele portraying it through Lovecraft Country, you know, with the black women having to save the day, like Hippolyta or Dee or whoever is the strong black woman, whatever episode, Letty, whatever it might be. That is the case. Yes, these are the case. But I will say that black men are strong and powerful as well, like I said before. And I feel like it's a reason why black households are usually are separated. You know, it's literally a reason why we have mass incarceration. We have all these different things that are a part of the black community. Because not only within the black community, but outside the black community, we know that not we, but they know. That the world knows, you know, that we really are like powerful beings, you know. You know, they always say like put a book in a black man's hand. It's the most.
Stop, bro! It's over.
Yeah.
They have to. Society has to do that, and they've been doing it for so long that they forced themselves to believe that that's how it's supposed to be.
I mean, No, go ahead.
Yeah, so I feel like a lot of black women, they do love us and they support us. They're just very disappointed because it's like a lot of this stuff been happening for like years and years, and they're tired. So I'm tired, bro. Motherfuckers drunk and tired. I'm tired.
We have a platform. I feel like, well, definitely that they don't, just because of the privilege that we hold as men.
Mm-hmm.
But I think where the disappointment comes from is that I don't think we collectively don't publicly agree and publicly
Hold
say
each other
something.
accountable.
Yeah, and hold each other accountable. So because of that, they are quick to generalize us. Oh, when that's not the case, and you kind of break away, and then it gets into that divisive conversation. But no, I don't think that we publicly use the privilege that we have to protect black women in the same way they do us.
I think it's interesting though, because I think sometimes there's an expectation that we immediately know how, and a lot of us weren't taught how to hold other men accountable.
Mm-hmm.
Like if we didn't have a father that held us accountable, where was we learning how to hold another man accountable? Like your mother can always hold you accountable. That's your mom's, you know what I'm saying? But if you ain't have an uncle or a big brother, or if they just didn't hold you accountable, where are you possibly going to learn that? That's not an excuse. That's just a fact. Like there's a lot of people that don't get the experience to have somebody hold them accountable and challenge them and push them. So
I never had it.
I mean,
even
to that point, like when you think about it, okay, some people haven't learned how to hold other people accountable. Some people haven't learned how to get the feedback. To have that. So here you are, even if you learned how to do that, and you're trying to check somebody on like, hey bro, this isn't right, or like this one should. Some people are very sensitive or very guarded, and they take it the wrong way.
And they truly have.
And then it becomes a whole other thing, right?
Yeah.
But then even to the point, like when Steve brought this up earlier, like the whole
emotional intelligence
black men are weak thing, like the societal conception.
Yeah.
This is also something that goes back to slavery. What Nosa was talking about, like how black men have always been viewed as strong. Like, okay, separate the black households. You want to take the black men, break them up, do all these other things, use them and abuse them. And this is going to sound really bad and very controversial, but a lot of people have been trapped in that slave mindset of, hey, I'm just going to operate under what I'm told to do. I'm going to stay in this box. I'm going to be entrapped, for better lack of words, like in this idea of this is my ceiling. This is how far I can go. This is it. This is what's expected from me from society. This is where I'm going to be. True. This is the role I'm going to play. Not knowing or not caring that there's this whole other world, right? There's this whole other glass ceiling that you can break through and do all these other things. And it's one, either because of the environment that they are raised in, or two, lack of knowledge, and which is to the point, knowledge is key. Like
lack of knowledge and lack of people wanting to give knowledge.
Facts.
And lack of people telling how many black men, and I don't want to focus on black men, but like that's how the conversation started. That was the origin of it.
What I know.
Right. But how many black men were not told when they were 7, 8, 9, whatever age you want to pick, were not told that they could be whatever they wanted to be, or were not told that they could do whatever they wanted to do. If you're not told that as a child, and you have to go off of what you see, and your environment is trash, it's hard to expect them to really tap in and to not only see this ceiling right here and not realize there's another ceiling above it just waiting for them if they break through this one.
Well, not even tap in. It's just the fact that so when you are a child, you're so innocent and you're like, I want to be an astronaut. I want to be the first black president. Pre-Obama, that was a lot of second black president. A lot of that was said. And as you go older and older, it's like your dreams and your hopes are kind of like chiseled away every year of your life, because you're constantly told what you cannot do. And that's why it's so important, that you have black educators, black engineers, black because it's hard. It's hard to do what you have never seen before. It's very hard to do what you've never seen before. It's hard for somebody to put it in a sports reality. Like, okay, I want to become the NBA scoring leader. Okay, now I know what it takes to get to that. I've seen this person, the amount of work that they did to do it. I've seen how they did it, their craft. Then you can literally study it to a T. So it goes back to everything in life. It's just hard for people to do something that they've never done before. So a lot of black kids think that this goes beyond black men. You know, it's a lot of black people that think that they can't be a certain thing because they never saw it. They not that they never saw it. They don't have that exposure in their face all the time, and so it's not reassuring or reaffirming them that, you know, this is possible. All these possibilities possible for you. So.
That's my favorite part of being in the classroom.
Well,
that is my favorite part of being in the classroom, because you get to be exposed to somebody who looks like you or somebody that you can connect with and see them as an example. Not everybody I know wants to be an educator, but I try to.
I ain't gonna lie.
Hey, it ain't for everybody.
Hell no.
It's for me. It's
Absolutely not. What you finding out?
Give me a time. No. But I know that I get to be an example to, like, that has transferable effects to somebody, so they can go and see somebody, and I teach the social experiments. So I like to switch things up and see how people do and see what goes there. So because I want that kind of same path. So that's my favorite part in the classroom, actually.
Yeah, and it's lived with us till this day. Like now, like literally, I'll meet people like, "Damn, you do what? And you just what? Like, oh, that's possible for me then. Okay, I can go in." Like, it's like that same mindset. Like we've just been
exposure and representation.
Literally, exposure and representation. It matters so much, and that's the reason why. So. But I do have like I guess a segue. Is it crazy how, you know, we put so much emphasis, because when we go back to parents and also like black women expecting us to be a certain way. Isn't it crazy that like we have all these other outside influences that, you know, is literally telling us the exact opposite of what we are supposed to be to our community, you know. So it's like, it's only so much you can control, basically, you know. It's only so much that you can want the world from us, but like the world's not showing us that we should, basically. So.
Well, I don't hear a lie. Like the world don't be showing much of nothing, you know, unless you like the foreign black person, like comedian again, or sports person, like that's all you really see. Well, guys, we will be right back. And when we come back, we're going to give you guys our final thoughts and takes from this conversation. And we hope to see you guys soon. So we'll be right back after this little break. All right, guys. And we are back. And during the break, Steve posed a very interesting question that we want to leave you guys with. So I'm going to let Steve take it away.
Yeah. So one question I wanted us to end with based off this conversation was, what is the one stereotype about black men, or the one myth about black men that we want to dispel, whether that we're trying to do actively or that we have already done in our lives so far. So I'll start. And so for me personally, I've always wanted to dispel the myth that a black man couldn't be emotional and still strong, or basically know how to balance their emotions. I think that's always a misconception that you have like angry black men and angry black women, but black men specifically that don't know how to handle their emotions, don't know how to work through it, and just are naive to anything that deals with love, commitment, anything that doesn't involve just, I don't know, being trash, I guess. But I
almost said something, but that's so not PG, so it's fine.
Yeah, that's why I said trash.
Yeah, it's fine. I got it.
But yeah.
It's too late now.
But essentially just being emotionally available. I think there's always been the stigma that black men aren't, and that they can't to a degree, but they most definitely can. And you can still be very strong. You can still be assertive. You can still be aggressive and respectfully. But yeah, no, being emotionally available would be mine. Anybody else take it away?
I guess I'll piggyback off of that, but
oh my God.
How are you head up? Respectful. I don't know. How about this back and find the point? I'll piggyback off of Donald. For me though, not only being emotional, but being able to articulate your emotions and being able to articulate your thoughts. And that's just been something that I've been trying to chase since I walked into college freshman year, you know, through Alpha and through all the things that I've joined and the people that I've surrounded myself around, the media that I intake, all that stuff. Just being able to articulate how I feel and I didn't articulate at the end there, but it's okay.
He wants to articulate. He's learning.
Right.
He wants to articulate. It's a process.
It's better than before. Better than before.
It's stuttering. I'll probably say that I was also going to say being emotionally available, but thinking about it though, I'd probably say the myth I would dispel or try to dispel is black men need to be hyper masculine. I think. Well, one, I think it's unnecessary.
Sometimes
It's just so tired.
It's like, wow.
So much
We get it. You're a man, bro. We get it.
Relax.
Like Terry Crews.
Terry Crews
Please
also
don't-
that's not-
problematic.
Please
Very
don't-
problematic.
Oh.
That's a black man that is a weak. Like Flo Millie said.
No, but like I grew up like my father is Omega. No offense, my father's an Omega. So seeing that, and he played football, and just this idea, this dark skin, like heavy dude, like just all of these hyper masculine ways of thinking. No, that is what I saw growing up, and I was like, but that's not everything that's there. So to dispel the myth of hyper masculine through conversations, emotions, style of dress, whatever it may be.
Side note, I would have never thought your father was dark skinned, but that's neither here nor there.
Yeah,
Because he looks
you
like...
you a little
Again, problematic's on the side.
Sorry.
You on the lighter side.
I'm trying to go. It's from my mama's
It's from your
side.
mom. I can tell that.
Oh God, does that leave me?
Dun, dun, dun.
I guess I won't be a piggyback individual.
You won't.
I won't.
Not on this.
Not on this land.
Not on this.
Not on this land. Respectfully, we're not doing that.
Not on this one.
I think my biggest thing that I've always wanted or tried to convey is that success does not have to be a cookie cutter image.
True.
A lot of people think like success is like, well, at least in like social realms, is the money, the cars, the hoes, the clothes, all that other shit.
Mm-hmm.
And
Great song, though.
Great. I was gonna
Say,
say great music.
not that you just quoted.
Happy birthday to Drake.
happy birthday!
Today.
When you see this, holla at us.
Real
We like
sad.
some money. We can
Happy
use
birthday,
some, we
Aubrey.
can use some Skrilla, Aubrey. But
And that new album, Certified Lover Boy.
all right.
Drop it. Hey,
Drop it.
Hey, drop it before the end of the year, man.
Okay, these two. But seriously, like not having to conform to like such strict ideas of what that looks like, and being able to define what success looks like for you, and having your own lane and carving that out, because then you're more comfortable with like yourself in the process. Because if you're always trying to compare yourself to what somebody else has or what somebody else is doing or what it seems like they're doing, you're always going to wonder, well, why am I like, what about me? Like, maybe I should do this or that. And then it takes away from like your growth and the process for you. And so that's always something that I've tried to be cognizant of, at least when I talk to others who look like me, and some who don't, but mostly who look like me, because this matter. Even though society, even in 2020, some of y'all don't think this matter, but it doesn't matter. So there's that. Well, thanks for hanging out with us, guys, on the premiere episode of the panel.
Yeah.
Glad that you guys decided to take this journey with us. We have more episodes coming this season, so make sure you stay tuned.
Please
because if you like this conversation, I promise you.
Oh, this ain't.
We ain't done nothing yet.
this ain't nothing.
We haven't even scratched the surface of what we really gonna talk about today. Let me tell you, some of these topics gonna be real good. So make sure you guys like, comment, subscribe, follow us on social media. You guys never said your social media. So I'm going to give everyone an opportunity to shout themselves out. And then we are not the
I'm sorry.
Follow me, Faye_Diggs on all social media.
And you can follow me at Eke the Great 3. That is EKE the Great 3. All social media platforms. Also Sounds by Sa.
Do it all.
You can follow me at Mr. Qualified on all social medias. You can also follow Qualified LLC, that on all social medias.
Period.
That's fancy. You can follow me on Instagram at Uncle Don _Don. There we go. And then on Twitter, it's at _Uncle Don.
So he has to be the one that had the not
Right,
all
so
matching social media.
Basically, it's how you know there's an
I
age
deleted
gap
Twitter
here.
after I graduated college, and I realized I missed it, and I stayed on Vine, and I went back. So
Ghetto.
they took my handle.
What was your handle before?
Uncle Don Uncle Don _Don. Yeah.
She
So
was
moral of the
also
story, he was
everybody's
always somebody's uncle.
Yeah. I feel like I've been somebody's uncle for like a while. Or everybody's uncle on Twitter, yeah.
As you drink
Are
whiskey.
old enough to be everybody's. All right, guys. We'll see you guys next episode on the panel.
Bye.